Welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
I am Darren.
I'm Bajo.
I'm Derp.
Hey, Derp, you've got a letter.
Wonderful.
It's from the IRA.
What? The IRA?
The Intergalactic Robot Academy.
Open it. Okay. Dear Mr. Derp, we are pleased to inform you that your application for a place at the Intergalactic Robot Academy has been successful. Please come immediately. Yours sincerely, Mr. R. Bot, Intergalactic Robot Academy Principal.
Oh, wonderful. Wow, Derp, that's amazing. You know they only accept 3 robots a year out of the entire galaxy. The best of the best. You have to be so good to even get a look in.
Well done, Derp.
Energy.
Oh, I knew you'd make it.
Well, on that happy note, we better get on with the show. What have we got up this week?
Well, we'll be taking on the role of a dictator in Tropico 4.
We'll also be checking out the new online Pokemon game.
And I'll be awarding the D.A.R.R.E.N badge for the spawnling who has excelled at Canabalt. So proud. So proud.
Oh, where did you get that? Oh, no way! For us Spawnies, Pokemon means games like Black and White, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. But many of you also enjoy playing the Pokemon card game.
Oh, how I love my shinies.
Oh, me too. Well, now they've made a virtual version of the trading card game.
Yes, it's a 1v1 turn-based game. Darren, could you give us a breakdown on the rules, please?
Affirmative. You each have an active Pokemon in play, which you use to attack and take damage. You also have benched Pokemon, which can be switched with your active Pokemon. When you knock out one of your opponent's Pokemon, you're awarded with a prize card, and the first player to collect 6 of them wins.
Each attack requires energy to be attached to the Pokemon, and there are special conditions like sleep or poisoned that can really change the battle up. You'll also use trainer cards, which do various things from healing your Pokemon to allowing you to search your deck for a specific card.
It can be a bit confusing at first, but the more I played, the more I realized how deep the strategy could get. Do I do indirect damage to the benched Pokemon, or do I just do massive damage to the one that's active? Do I choose trainer cards that let me search my deck for energy, or ones that let me draw more cards? I think I lost some sleep over this.
Me too. This is quite an evolution from the first Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy Color, which featured the first set of 151 Pokemon. Now there's a much wider selection of cards and attacks are a lot more powerful.
Yes, I was shocked, Hex, to find that my Charizard, which is one of the rarest cards from the first set, is actually quite weak compared to a Typhlosion or even a Raichu. All my old cards are useless. And Hex, I finished one of the Trainer Challenge Leagues, so I went online to take on human opponents and went to craft my own deck, and then I found this. I don't have any cards.
Well, that's not quite true, Bajo. You can unlock the basic deck, but if you want to play competitively, you will need to fork over some cash to get the better cards.
Hex, it's not quite as simple as that. In order to get new cards in-game, you must purchase packs in real life. These will contain a code giving you credits to purchase virtual booster packs or to redeem the cards from your starter deck in the game.
I can see why they've done this. They want to encourage you to make trades and purchase cards like you would in real life. I mean, being able to obtain every single card just by battling the computer would ruin the experience of a trading card game. For a video game though, I think there's just too many steps to get my virtual cards, and for newcomers, I think this will be quite off-putting.
Yeah, it's strange that there isn't an option to buy the cards online for people like me who don't like to go outside. But this is still in beta, so there are some features missing, such as rankings, and we had a lot of trouble just trying to get a game together. There's no way to do it with friends, so we had to just start a random one at the same time.
Yeah, the menus are a bit confusing. For instance, cards won't show up in your collection until you've opened the pack, and they're sorted into pages instead of giving you a scroll bar, even though the shop uses one.
I still haven't worked out what the tokens do either. If you know, please jump on the forums or send us an email.
Yeah, I have no idea. Look, overall, I thought this was all a little bit messy, and there wasn't really enough free content to hook me in, so I'm giving it 6 out of 10 rubber chickens.
My only real gripe with the game is that it relies too heavily on coin flips, so that makes it a bit too unpredictable for a strategy game. But there is already a small online community there, and I think if you take it online, it'll improve your experience, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
If you were a Pokemon, Bajo, which type would you be? Fire type? Derp type?
Definitely a fire type, Darren. I like fire.
I think I'd be an electric type. You, Hex?
Oh, Pika, electric, all the way.
Affirmative. Pika-pee.
Predictable.
here with all the latest news and the games and the news of games from all around the place. Christopher Khan, a 13-year-old from Ballarat, has become the first Australian to be crowned Pokemon World Champion. Khan travelled to San Diego in America to compete in the 2011 Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championships. He won the senior division, a $7,500 scholarship, and a free trip to next year's tournament. Congratulations, Christopher. Details of a new expansion slide pad for the 3DS have been revealed in Japanese magazine Famitsu. The bulky device will attach to the 3DS, adding a second slide pad as well as trigger buttons. Nintendo have confirmed the device will be released but have not announced any details on when or its price. Nolan Bushnell, founder of gaming company Atari, has claimed his Speed to Learn educational program will be able to teach kids the entire American high school curriculum in just 1 year. Specific details of the program have yet to be announced, but it will involve educational games.
It's that time again, Spawnlings, when I time warp to one of the greatest moments in gaming history! Activating time tubes! Here we go! We're warping back to the early days of September 2008, and mankind is close to unraveling the secrets of the universe. The Large Hadron Collider in Geneva is counting down to its first activation. The space probe Rosetta has completed its flyby of a distant asteroid. And the team that gave the world SimCity and The Sims has released a cosmic new game, Spore. Spore was unlike any game that had come before. It let you guide the evolution of a species, starting as a soggy microbe, then moving on to land, developing a civilization, and ultimately taking off into space. While it was a little on the easy side, Spore was a hit, spawning many sequels, including Spore Hero and Spore Galactic Adventures. Well, I'd better get back. I've got a science mystery of my own to solve. How to create the perfect grilled cheese sandwich. Off I go! Back through time!
Well, the Rugby World Cup is underway in New Zealand, and a few weeks ago we reviewed the official tournament game and discovered that we couldn't play as either the real All Blacks or the real Wallabies.
One of the outside backs. That's the break. Goes low.
Well, that's probably because there is another rugby union game, Wallabies Rugby Challenge, with, you guessed it, all the licensed All Blacks and Wallabies players.
Instead of one official World Cup tournament, Rugby Challenge allows you to play 11 different competitions from around the world, including the Tri-Nations and Super 15. There are over 90 teams, including club sides like the New South Wales Waratahs and the ACT Brumbies. It also has a career mode, which lets you control a club or country for up to 13 seasons.
In 1891, the first British representative team arrived in South Africa. They were the first representative games played by South African sides. Still learning the game.
At first glance, Rugby Challenge looks much better than Rugby World Cup. The graphics are more detailed, the grass is nicer, and the player models look better. But after a while, you start to notice the jittery frame rate and glitches, such as players running through each other.
Yeah, Badge, it's almost as if they tried to do too much and the game just isn't coping very well. Rucks, scrums and lineouts take a bit longer than Rugby World Cup. Also, the players here don't turn as easily, so you can't do those crazy zigzag runs.
This results in more phases and forces you to plan your attacks, as well as use special moves like palming off defenders,
Goes for a gallop over halfway.
using dummy passes,
Forward. And he shells the dummy.
and sidestepping your way through the final defensive line.
Ashley Cooper goes hard.
It's also missing a few things, such as set plays or formations, which make it very difficult to play a kicking game.
But overall, this does feel like the more polished of the two. It's got more modes and options, and also there's a tutorial section, which is fantastic for new players. It's not perfect, but I do think it is the better game, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I don't know, Hex, I think I had more fun with Rugby World Cup, and I think that's because I don't really care if I play as the real Wallabies or the real All Blacks. Having said that though, this is a more complete sports game, so I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Patch. Games are made up of millions and millions of lines of computer code. As they are all written by fallible humans, there are always bugs, and it's impossible to find them all during development. Hence, the patch. While these software updates can squash the most obnoxious bugs, they often create new bugs too. Patch upon patch upon patch. It's a vicious cycle. It's fun to buy a game on launch day, but beware, the bugs will follow you home.
Dead.
Okay, well, should we answer some questions?
Okay, but I can't pause this old console.
All right, well, how about this one from Xander in Adelaide, South Australia? Oh no, get it.
No, he's dead. He's completely dead. It's quite a nice song though.
In your Minecraft world, how do you get to the pyramid?
Hey Xander, simply stand at the front door of the house with the mob grinder and then look off to the left. You'll see there's a trail of torches along the ground. Just follow those and you'll find it in no time.
Easy. Well, moving on to this one then from 117 Halo in Minecraftia. It's a bit of a contradiction.
Just taking over your computer.
In Minecraftia, what are you doing?
Deleting all the pictures of you and Darren.
No, that's my favourite album.
They're gone.
Ah, undo.
No undo. Shift delete.
You didn't have to get recycle bin.
Ha! With your Minecraft, you said that the pyramid will have a nice surprise inside, but all there was lots and lots of zombies.
Surprise! Well, I didn't actually say it was a nice surprise. In fact, I was going to warn you all about the monsters, but Bajo thought it would be fun to let you find them yourselves.
And it was fun, wasn't it? We did put in a diamond suit of armor and a sweet sword to fight the zombies in there. And how about that giant space invader? Those are some pretty awesome surprises in my book.
Well, I suppose so. But let's move on to this one now from I Don't Even Know My Own Name in I Don't Even Know Where I Live, New South Wales. Hey Good Game SP, you guys are like my idol, but of course Bajo is the best because he has been on Good Game for longer. From Bajo's biggest fan. P.S. On the Connect preview, it showed you someone scanning a real skateboard and using it in the game. Can you do this with a toy wand for Harry Potter or something like that? Thanks you very much.
Thanks. Well, sadly there's no proper Connect games out at the moment that uses the object scanning function, but you can check it out if you download the free Connect Fun Labs app and then get the Googly Eyes game.
It's not really much of a game though, is it? All you do is scan in an object and then it puts some googly eyes on it. Yay. Well, let's hope they put that scanner to better use soon. Right, well, let's go to this one from Great Player in Great Foo, Victoria.
Sounds great. Hi, Good Game SP. My question, is there any good fighting for a 13? So anything PG to M. And I saw this game Capcom vs Tatsunoko and I want to know what you think. Well, the Street Fighter games are great fighting games. Super Street Fighter 4 would be our pick of them.
And Tatsunoko vs Capcom is a great fighter. Personally, I'm more of a Marvel vs Capcom fan though, just because I know the characters better. But if you like the look of Tatsunoko vs Capcom, then we'd say go for it. And moving on now to this one from Coops in Cobram, Victoria. What is the website called to get the 20 free games in the 3DS? P.S. You guys rule a lot. Yay.
Well, Coops, it's not a website you need to go to. You need to log into the e-store on your 3DS. But it is confusing, so here's how to do it.
First off, you need to be eligible for the Ambassador program by having purchased a 3DS and signed on to the e-store before the price drop happened back on August 12th.
If you've done that, then just open up the e-store and rather than looking for games in the shop as you normally would, you should scroll down all the way to the left and select Settings. Then in Settings, scroll down and select Titles You've Downloaded, that tab.
And if you've successfully registered as an ambassador, then you'll see your list of free games there. To actually get them, you have to select the re-download option, and then you'll have to re-download each game individually.
It is a bit confusing because no one will have actually downloaded these, so it's a bit weird they're hidden away as titles you've downloaded.
If you didn't register as an ambassador, then we suggest you do a search online with the words ambassador, 3DS, I didn't sign into the e-store. There's a few articles explaining what you need to do.
Complicated.
Yeah, I'd say. But let's move on to this one from... Lachlan in Nowra, New South Wales.
Lachlan. Hey guys, I was just wondering if you could tell me if the rumors are true that Microsoft will be showing the Xbox 720 at next year's E3. Well, Lachlan, at the moment it's true that there are rumors, but we're not sure if those rumors are true, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation that we'll see the new Xbox revealed at next year's E3, but if that's true, then we're sure Microsoft will be keeping a very tight lid on it until the official unveiling.
I've got one.
This is standard practice in the games industry. Bajo doesn't have one, he's lying.
Well, I guess everyone would stop buying 360s if they knew the next-gen console was on the way. Who's up next, Hex?
Well, it's T-Bone in Adelaide, South Australia.
T-Bone!
Hi, Good Game Spawn Point. I just wanted to ask if there is a really good rally game for the PS3. I've been asking a lot of questions, but you never answered. I like your show and I think it's the best.
There sure is a really good rally game, T-Bone. In fact, there are two. If you want something fairly realistic, then the Dirt series is a great option.
And if you want something a little bit crazier, then the Motorstorm series has lots of decent off-road mayhem. You'll have fun with either of those, I think. But with that, we're out of time for this week, so Spawnlings, you know what to do with those questions. Send them in. Where, Bajo?
Right there.
Yeah!
Do you want to come over and check out my Xbox 720?
You don't have an Xbox 720.
I
It's
do.
not even going to be called that.
I've got it with me. Do you want to see it? Okay, close your eyes.
Stupid. It's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be something stupid or smells gross. Or something that you ate and spat out. It's horrible. You always do
Okay,
this
here it is.
Worst surprises.
Whoa, look at it. It's got all the features for the games. It's got...
That's a PlayStation 1 and you've
This
just
is-
written Xbox 720 on
No, I
it in
didn't.
Texter.
No, I didn't.
This is stupid.
That's where you insert the 720 controllers.
This
That comes with.
20.
And
You don't have 720 friends to play with
That's
you.
the Kinect. Except no one uses it because it's not very fun. All right, Darren, tell me who won the coveted Darren badge this week for Canabalt?
Well, Bajo, the results are somewhat perplexing.
Really? How so?
Well, I am impressed with how far some of the Spawnlings managed to run, but I have my suspicions that a few of them may have been using a hacked version of the game. This gives you a score multiplier and the ability to jump higher, hence massive scores.
Oh, cheaters and hacksaws. Darren, what are you going to do?
Well, I am going to award 10 badges to the following gamers who I think submitted legitimate scores.
And laser the rest?
I'm tempted to, but not this time.
Oh, Darren, you've gone all gooey gooey gaga since Derp came around.
Affirmative. Negative. Negative.
Well, what are you going to challenge the Spawnlings with next time?
Cube field. You have to use the right and left arrow keys to dodge the cubes and see how far you can get.
And they can find it online?
Affirmative. It's a simple internet search. I will award a Darren badge to the viewer who can travel the furthest.
Without cheating.
Affirmative.
The Tropico series has been around for about a decade now, allowing gamers to rule over tropical paradises as loving and caring rulers or cruel and unusual dictators, or a bit of both.
A dictator is an all-powerful ruler of a country. They're similar to prime ministers or presidents, except they typically come to power by force and have final say in every decision.
Hold up a sec there, Darren. It sounds like you're trying to teach us about history and politics, and I think you'll find we're here to talk about games.
Well, Bajo, the Spawnlings need to have a basic understanding of dictatorships to appreciate the political satire of Tropico.
Well, Darren, I think you've done a pretty good job, so let's let the Spawnlings figure the rest out for themselves. When you start the game, you're faced with a character creation tool, which is similar to an RPG. You can choose from a list of real dictators to play as, but we'd suggest making your own custom-made character, since then you can choose the bonuses to suit your playstyle. Which also mean you can have a top hat.
The main campaign is a series of 20 different scenarios, which all have a specific goal, usually involving building up one kind of industry. For example, one mission might force you to earn a set amount of money from mining exports, while another makes you focus on becoming a popular tourist destination. There's also a plain old sandbox mode if you just want to muck about.
Now, you might think this is just a standard city builder, but it's much deeper than that, and that's because all of your citizens are individuals with their own wants and needs. So you have to set up all the things that a real society needs, like efficient transport, healthcare, entertainment, education, and of course, a healthy economy.
And without the basics of life like food and housing, you end up with people dying of starvation and living in filthy shacks. But then it all goes much deeper than that too, since everyone has their own political standing. For example, if you build a giant factory, then you'll earn the respect of the capitalists, but the environmentalists won't be so down with it.
Peace and love, dear Presidente. Please accept this flower wreath as a gift and hear my plea.
Of course, you're a dictator, so you don't really have to care about what anyone thinks if you don't want to. If you want to build a society with no schools, churches or hospitals, and where everyone works on a farm and lives in grotty little hovels, then you can do just that.
But be warned, if your people aren't happy, then they'll start to rebel against you and launch attacks. And then if they get too upset, they'll overthrow you completely.
I always knew giving weapons to a bunch of men in uniforms was a bad idea. Here is your proof.
Yeah, and if that happens or you lose an election, then it's game over. So building a nice place to live is important.
Or you could just build up your military and crush all those who oppose your mighty rule. Viva el Presidente! You can even set up a secret police agency to arrange an accident for your opposition. Or if you're about to lose an election, you can simply rig it to win.
Setting up a healthy economy is quite deep too. There's usually a few levels to everything. For example, you can set up a logging camp which will simply cut down and export wood. But then you can build a lumber yard which will turn your wood into more profitable lumber. And then you can set up a furniture factory to make high-grade furniture from the lumber.
And each island is rich in just a few types of natural resources, and your farms need to be near fertile ground for specific crops. So you really need to tailor your economy to what's available on your island.
But one of the new features in Tropico 4 is the ability to import resources. So you can just build a furniture factory and import the lumber from somewhere else, although it is much more profitable to set up your own supply chain.
While we're talking about new features, the last game, Tropico 3, is almost identical to this. Look at them side by side here. Spot the difference, but there are subtle changes. It's much easier to make money now, and also the islands are much bigger. It used to take forever to make cash in the last game, so I'm glad that's been tweaked. Also, the building used to take a long time too, so now there's an autocomplete option, and I like that.
Yeah, there are some new buildings too, which help fix some of the previous game's flaws. There are a lot more options for tourist attractions and power plants, for example, but the most notable addition is probably the minister's office, because now you need to hire ministers if you want to issue edicts such as literacy programs and tax cuts.
There's also oodles of disasters to worry about now, from oil spills to tornadoes. It's always great to see a bit of chaos.
Okay, Hex, I've got an island to manage, so let's wrap this up. Final thoughts.
Well, it may take a little while to get your head around all the intricacies of this game, but I quite liked that. You know, I found I was constantly thinking about ways to build bigger and better cities, and I think that's the mark of a good city builder. I also just really enjoyed the humour, so I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
This feels more like an expansion than a true sequel, but fans will be happy with the tweaks, I think. And if you've never played Tropico before, this is a great place to start. I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I noticed all the islands you ran, Bajo, always ended up turning into banana republics.
I like bananas. They're delicious.
Lol.
What's a banana republic?
Never mind, Bajo.
They like bananas there? They're banana plantations.
You'll understand when you're older.
Well, sadly, that brings us to the end of another episode of Spawn Point, and it's time to say goodbye and good luck to Derp.
Have you packed your nuts and bolts?
Yes, Darren.
And a spare battery?
Yes, Darren.
Have you washed behind your antennae?
Yes, Darren.
Oh, well, good luck, Derp. Take care and stay in touch, won't you?
Yes, and don't go lasering the other robots now.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Setting coordinates for Intergalactic Robot Academy. Off I go into hyperspace. Goodbye.
Right. Well, moving on. What have we got on the show next week?
Well, another classic Nintendo game gets remade for the 3DS, Star Fox. It's time to do a barrel roll in 3D.
Need your help, Star Fox. Andros has declared war. He's invaded the Lilat system and is trying to take over Corneria. Our army alone can't do the job. Hurry, Star Fox.
Plus, we'll be taking a look at FIFA 12. They've promised some big changes to the gameplay, so I'm keen to see what difference that's made to one of our favourite sports games. Well, till next time, gamers, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out.
Oh, Darren, do you want a tissue?
He's gone away. My little Derp's gone away.
Darren, I know you're going to miss him, but it's great that he's gone off to school. He's going to learn things and be a better robot.
Yeah, and he's going to make friends, and he'll be back in school holidays as well.
I suppose.
Come on, Darren, let's go laser some noobs. That'll cheer you up.
Oh, affirmative. Affirmative.